Hi, and welcome to the GemTracker tutorial. GemTracker is a platform to help investors track and research new gems in crypto. And in this video, I'm going to show you what functions GemTracker provides and how we can use them to discover the hottest new projects on the market. Let's get started. We can see that a new token's been added to Uniswap. We've got the token name and the token ticker or symbol. Here we've got AVG. The first function is the network effect. We should check if there are any official accounts on Twitter or Reddit. Using these convenient links, we can also check different social media platforms for any posts or messages about this project and try to figure out the sentiment. Is it positive, negative, neutral? Sometimes there won't be anything at all because the project doesn't exist, and that's a sign to move on to another token. In statistics, we can use services provided from Explorer and Blockchair for convenient access to data on the blockchain. Then we've got charts. So here we can follow the price action using the ChartX service, but ensure that you're checking the correct token because ChartX doesn't distinguish between smart contract addresses. Under the token function, we can check the initial listing price, and we can use this to compare to prices from pre-sales, ICOs, TGEs, etc. And we can determine when to open our trade depending on these prices. Sometimes it's not really a good time to open a trade immediately after the listing starts because pre-sale buyers might already have 100 or 200% profit from the price they paid, and they're looking to sell their tokens as quickly as possible. We should also take bots into consideration, as you can often find them manipulating the price during the initial stages of a token listing. Some bots are even created by the token owner simply to pump up the price and wreck early buyers. Transactions. Here we can follow the number of transactions, which means how many interactions with the contract took place and potentially how popular this particular token is. If there are only a few transactions, it can often mean that there isn't much hype surrounding the project and that we shouldn't waste too much time on it. Here you can see there's just one transaction. In the token details, we can track the transfers, so basically how many times tokens were moved between addresses. It could be that tokens were transferred between the owner and the team address to create fake transactions, so it's a good idea to compare them with the smart contract creator and owner. And right here we can conveniently see the address of the owner. We've also got the total supply of tokens. We can check this and try to further investigate the project's tokenomics. How many are circulating? Do the team have locked or unlocked tokens? When private buyers will have their tokens unlocked and released, etc. We should also take into consideration any burn-in or minting mechanisms, which can ultimately increase or decrease the price. In the liquidity section, we can see how much liquidity has been initially provided, and we can use this to determine whether it might be worthwhile to enter into a trade. Usually people define a safe liquidity value of around $50,000, but in my experience, a large amount of liquidity doesn't always guarantee that a token is legitimate, and it can lure you into a false sense of security. You think you're safe, and then the token creator pulls the rug and the token decreases in value. We can also check if liquidity has been locked and how long it's been locked for. On the surface, this might seem quite important, but malicious developers have ways to get around locked liquidity. For example, the token contract might have a minting function where the total supply can be increased and consequently devalue the tokens. Or they can include functions to block buyers from selling it. So it's worth staying alert even if the liquidity is locked. Moving on to the contract, here we can check if the contract has been verified. And what this means is that the contract placed on the Ethereum blockchain is the same one placed on the Etherscan blockchain. It doesn't mean that the contract doesn't include minting functions or something else that could devalue the token, so we should try to investigate this further to ensure there are no such possibilities. Next up is pairs. At the beginning, it'll mostly be a single pair, but it's worth observing if more pairs are added, or especially if more liquidity is added to the single pair. And what's most important is that liquidity is added from different addresses, not just one. Because if only one address is providing liquidity and they decide to remove it, it would have a serious impact on the token. Below pairs, you can find some links to info on some popular platforms to check price charts, transactions, and liquidity. And lastly, we've got the current holders. GemTracker lists the top 5 holders, and here we can see how tokens are distributed across addresses. It's really important that tokens are not stored on a single address or just a few addresses, but as always, there are many techniques to get around this, as scammers can send tokens to multiple addresses during the initial minting in the contract deployment process, and they can also send tokens to well-known addresses to make it look like there are some partnerships or investments from other projects. What's great about seeing the holders is that if we see the top holder, like on this one, has 99.64% of tokens, we can see it's not worth looking at, it's a waste of time, and we should just move on to another token. And at the bottom, there are some handy buttons to take you to some popular links. We can go to the info on Uniswap, to the buy and sell links also on Uniswap. We can click to Etherscan, to the contract, and to the holders also on Etherscan. And if you need some extra help or have any questions, you can write to GemTracker support. I hope this video will help you to use GemTracker more efficiently in the future. Remember, we're continually implementing new features to make this tool even more effective for our users. If you're already using GemTracker or plan to use it, don't forget to join our community group on Telegram, where we're sharing information and discussing new gems. Links are in the description. See you there, trackers!